But then parallel to that, we've also seen some very, very well-coordinated, politically targeted attacks against the Chinese. What's going on? The parallel, yeah.
Ahmed, this is precisely my point I'm trying to
Where do these things cross?
This is the most unfortunate part, that the objective of this Takfiri movement and objective of this Hindu, Christian, Jewish Zionists are one.
You mean there are foreign elements also involved in foreign intelligence agencies?
I mean, yes, there is no doubt about that. All these religious militant groups are penetrated by foreign intelligence agencies. There is no doubt about that. But at the same time, even at the ideological level,
including the Lal Masjid people,
including the Lal Masjid people, if the investigations go on, you will definitely find out, because no radical, even the radical Muslim
I know you do your research and everything, but I mean, I'm sure you're not going to reveal everything, but how can you make this a statement that people like Ghazi Rashid, who came on TV and gave very sermons, very Islamic, very religious, and these people could actually have shadowy links and things like that, to shadowy and suspicious foreign agencies or powers? How could this be possible? How can you convince an ordinary man who's watching this show, for example?
You see, giving a statement right now would not mean much if I'm not able to bring a proof for it. So right now, I would not say it. But what I'm saying is, ideologically and philosophically, their anarchic Takfiri ideology served the purposes of the Zionist Hindus and the Christian Zionists and the Jewish Zionists.
You mean they became unwilling pawns, unknowingly?
Either they were unwilling or deliberate partners. That is something, it doesn't matter as far as the net result is concerned. The net result was a head-on collision between Pakistan and the Western world. And let me tell you one more thing. It is, you know about the flotilla, the battle groups of the US which are stationed in the Gulf. They have an objective, supposedly, of attacking Iran, and that's what they're there for. But at the same time, they have an additional objective as well. And the initial objective is that if Pakistan is taken over by the radicals, then they should move in to secure Pakistan's nuclear assets.
Yeah, we've been reading Seymour Hersh's reports.
These things have been coming out for years, and we know that. So these radicals, which want to take over Pakistan with the Takfiri ideologies, are actually playing into the hands of the American Zionists of creating an environment. If they had taken over Islamabad...
You mean giving them an excuse?
Absolutely. If they had taken over Islamabad, Americans would have moved in.
You mean Ghazi Rashid and the Lal Masjid Brigade and these suicide bombings are basically giving an excuse to foreign powers to intervene?
Either the Lal Masjid Brigade were absolute idiots or they were absolute pawns. In either case, they had created an environment so dangerous that the Americans were probably would almost be ready to move into Pakistan.
Tell me about the options for Pakistan. I mean, we're taking this tough a stand. I just mentioned the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Pakistani, and the statement of our Foreign Office, very tough. What are the options for Pakistan?
You see, the options of Pakistan...
Can we afford to cut off our cooperation?
There is absolutely no problem. There is absolutely no problem. You see, if the nation stands together, we are 160 million people. We are a nuclear power. The nation only has to stand together. And we are not weak people. We are not alone people. We've got allies in the region. We can make more allies. If the nation stands together, if the nation stands united, there's absolutely no problem. You see, in fact, we can accelerate Americans' defeat in Afghanistan by just continuing our relationship with them, by just simply breaking off. Because the fuel goes to them from here. Lots of food supplies goes to them from here. All their supplies goes to them from here. Their intelligence and surveillance operations take place from here.
Okay, this is the harshest measure that we can take. I mean, before that, we reached that point. Diplomatically, politically, in our bilateral relationship, I mean, I'm sure you know better than I do that we have very close relationship with the American intelligence security establishment. We've maintained that relationship since the early 1980s, and I'm sure there are people who are able to find friends in Islamabad from Washington and people in Islamabad finding friends in Washington. Before we reach that harshest stage, what are the other steps that can be taken?
You see, whether Pakistan wants to take these harsh steps or not, it doesn't matter, Ahmed. Try to understand. The neocons want a confrontation with Pakistan, whether you like it or you're not. You see, this confrontation is inevitable. Why do you think Pakistan is not part of axis of evil? It's only a temporary arrangement that they had with Pakistan. It's only a matter of time they'll put you on it.
Yeah, in fact, there have been write-ups in the American media saying that, why attack Iraq when you should have done,
And now they are saying, why attack Iran? Go after Pakistan first. Yeah. Because Iran is 6 or 7 years away from nuclear weapons.
And I'm surprised it's the American liberals who write these things. I mean, it's not just the neocons.
So we are not saying this out of our head. This thing is already coming in the media. So why do we assume by any step that we take is going to ward off that threat that is coming to us from the Western Zionists, Western neocons, that fascist ideology? Or whatever we do is going to satisfy...
But the Americans are at pains also, Zayed, to say this, that, you know, we're not threatening you. I mean, just 4 days back, the U.S. Embassy here in Islamabad issued a statement, actually.
You want to take them on the face value?
Saying that, you know, this is not a threat.
You want to take them on the face value?
It's a good question.
Can you trust them?
Yeah.
You see, I'll quote a statement from President Ayub here, which should clarify everything.
President Ayub Khan.
Ayub Khan of Pakistan, he said, it's dangerous to be enemy of United States. It's fatal to be their allies.
And he had a first-hand experience.
And he had a first-hand
experience with that.
Pakistan is now between two jaws of the alligator. One is the fascist Takfiri ideology. And to sort that out, Pakistan will have to make proper deals with the tribals in that region, not the militants. Dealing with the tribals means, because tribals are Pakistanis and tribals do not follow Takfiri ideology.
True.
This Takfiri ideology has come from these exiled, homeless, radical, persecuted and anarchic Arabs.
Okay, we're almost out of time, Zaid, but my last question here would be just to, I want your insight on two things, two stories. One is the Abdullah Mahsoud. I mean, Abdullah Mahsoud was killed here. Some people, unfortunately, still even in our media, were saying that, you know, he was a Taliban and he was, you know, really fighting a just war and things like that. And some people portrayed him as a hero, not realizing that this guy, who was in an American jail, Guantanamo, came back to kidnap and kill Chinese engineers. And then, just last week, in the middle of this Lal Masjid thing and the suicide bombing, strange, really suspicious bombings, we have the BLA taking responsibility for killing a very high-profile official in the provincial Balochistan government. I mean, the people who are beginning to fish in our troubled waters. What do you say?
See, this is precisely what I'm saying. The Afghan hostile government is supporting separatist movements inside Pakistan. There's no doubt about this.
Under the nose of the Americans.
Under the nose of the Americans and exploiting Pakistan's relationship in so-called war on terror. The Balochistan Liberation Army assets are protected, given weapon, and supplied by Kabul.
There's one piece of intelligence that says that BLA has actually an office in downtown Kabul.
You see, it's not just that. The governor of Kandahar has openly acknowledged that we are keeping BLA separatists as guests, and he offered to mediate between Pakistan and BLA. What credibility he has to say that?
And then the Afghan Foreign Office tried to, you know, cover up on that statement.
And on the other hand, the militants in Waziristan are also penetrated. As you said, this guy who's supposed to be in Waziristan, is supposed to be in Guantanamo, Mahsoud, he comes back, and what he does, and he never goes back to Afghanistan to fight the Americans. First thing he does, kill Chinese in Pakistan. So whom is he kidding? Are we missing something here? See, this is the point. As I said earlier, that Pakistan, this fascist ideology of these religious radicals, anarchic ideology, is serving the interests of Hindu Zionists, Christian Zionists, and Jewish Zionists.
Foreign powers.
Foreign powers.
Zed, are the authorities in Islamabad here, and the security people, the intelligence, are they aware of these points that you're just raising here?
You see, unfortunately, what is happening is our emphasis too much on reactive damage control and do's and don'ts on administrative policies.
But that might be the public side of it. There might be some other side that, you know...
History has never been our strong subject. We never learned from history. What did we learn anything from the loss we had in 1971? We never learned anything from it.
No, the most important thing, the statement that he just quoted, President Ayub Khan's.